Hey, what is up, everybody? This is your boy AJ Trip, and welcome to That's a Shoot, my weekly show where I talk about the good and the bad in the world of professional wrestling. And then we go to talk, and that's called Put Over and Bury, by the way. And then we talk about the main topic of the episode. Um, and that's what we're gonna do this week. But before we go into our weekly show, I must talk about the Bray Wyatt gimmick because I must say this. As I saw this, I didn't know what to think of it. I really didn't. I didn't know what to think of it. I was like, "What is this?" And I was kind of like Michael Cole, like, just. But yeah, and I thought this was going to be universally panned, but for the stuff I've seen primarily here on YouTube with all of the other wrestling channels and wrestling people, some people seem to kind of like it, and I'm like, wow, this is really interesting. So, as for me, before I start putting it over or burying it, I'm gonna give it a little bit more time. As I'm sure this isn't just going to be the only Firefly Funhouse thing they show. I'm sure this is probably going to be 3 or 4 weeks in succession before they put Bray on TV. So and put him on a brand. So we'll have to wait. I'll wait and see, and and then I'll give my opinion on it right there. In fact, I may not have to be a put over and bury. It may be one of my main topics, but yeah. As for right now, I'm going to wait on the Bray Wyatt game. With that being said, now let's get on with the show. So as always, we start over with Put Over and Bury. Put Over is first, and the first thing I want to put over is just the absolute. I guess it would be Twitter. I guess I want to be put over Twitter because when Shane McMahon says Mount Mushmore, and it's immediately. Now I was watching. I wasn't necessarily listening. And I'll tell you why that in a second. Um, but I wasn't really necessarily listening. But so then when I look at Twitter and I see Mount Mushmore is trending, I, like most of the world, think someone out there, whether it's our president or even maybe someone else, said this. And it was Shane McMahon. Oh, so I guess I'm just gonna put over Twitter. Thank you, Twitter, for being Twitter. Sometimes social media gets a bad rap and for the trolls and everything like that. But this is why Twitter was made, so that we can we can just. And there was one tweet that was really good. There was one tweet was like, "Who's on your Mount Mushmore of wrestlers?" Mine would have to be Flick Rare. I love it. And it was just fantastic. So good on them. Another one I have to put over is The Miz. And let me just say this. I know there were many people were like, is really, are we gonna do the face Miz thing again? We tried this, the time before, but it didn't go too well. They're doing this one right. Because I think the other one is that they tried to change his character. They tried to change his character when they turned him face, last time, and they tried to make him into the generic, white meat babyface, and that's not what you know you need to be. You need it's you need to have that same kind of arrogance about him. Or one of the things I think I like is that they're giving him they're giving him a character that people can fall into, right? But I'm sure there are many people out there who have wanted to get the love of their father. There are many people out there who wanted all they wanted to do was wanted to make their father or their mother or someone in their life to love them, right? So that started it, and that turned this babyface thing around, and it's really good, and while keeping his arrogance, arrogance slash confidence character that he had as a babyface. The only thing he's not doing now that he was doing back in the past was that he was healing on the crowd. He's not healing on the crowd, and that's rightfully so. He still has all of his garish stuff that he wears and everything like that. So I think that's really, really, really good. Um, so yeah, and they have all this other good stuff about it. So it is fantastic. So what they're doing with the Miz is fantastic. I do worry that if they keep having him do the things where he says that he has a purpose. He's talking about his purpose. That's yeah. He doesn't need to keep doing that. He said that enough now that we know why he's now babyface. That he is trying to be a better man for his little girl and his newborn on the way, and to be a better to be a better father for those, to be a better husband for Maurice, and to be a son his father could love. Okay, so that's why he's changed. He doesn't need to keep repeating that. I also do love like the change in his character where he is now like doing things like jumping from top ropes and doing springboards. I always worry about this because he's never done a spring. I don't think he's never done a springboard ever. The first time he did it, I think. I remember when he did it. He did it. I think it was against the match, and it was in the match against. It was the first match against the Usos when the Usos first won the titles. He did it, and he was like, "What?" And none of us can believe it. So I worry about him because first of all, he's not the typical athlete, um, and he's gonna just he's gonna trip and fall or something like that. And then guys like Rey Mysterio do it, but he has no problems doing it. So I don't know. So yeah, but I just love what they get going on with the Miz, and I hope they don't. I really hope they don't screw this up, and I hope the Miz. I would actually like to see the Miz be champion as a babyface. Now he's with Seth Rollins and everything like that. I don't think the Miz at this point has probably a shot to being any type of major champion at this point. I thought that there was maybe a good chance that maybe he could be WWE champion, but then when Kofi had this whole thing came around and everything like that, it obviously was no longer the case. So I don't. And then now we got AJ Styles and Drew McIntyre and even Baron Corbin. I think they might even give Baron Corbin a shot for the Universal Championship. I don't know if he has a chance. We could see he could very well win Money in the Bank, and that would be interesting to see. And finally, the Kevin Owens heel turn. Now I would say this: I watched the Wrestle Talk show the other day, and Ali and Luke where they were talking about how they were kind of disappointed that this was so quickly done. And on one hand, I can see that. I can see that. Maybe what you would have liked to have seen is have this like go on for for another. I don't know how long Big E is gonna be out. I don't know how long Big E is gonna be out torn meniscus, because wrestling is different than you know wrestling. Well, I don't actually know, because I think, but Derrick Rose tore his meniscus and he was out the whole year. That's basketball. So I'm not sure about torn meniscus. I don't know how long Big E was going to be out. I hadn't seen anything online, or I hadn't heard anything about it. So I don't know how long Big E was going to be out. But yeah, I could see what they were talking about, where this would be going on. This would be going on for this could have been going on for a few months. Now, I'm not sure what's happening with Daniel Bryan. You know, Daniel Bryan apparently is injured, and so there may be some things going on with that. And I'm not sure about Randy Orton. Randy Orton was on the first SmackDown back, but he hasn't been on the show since. Maybe he's just getting a veteran's vacation. But if there's nothing wrong with Randy Orton, Randy Orton could have been the first guy, and and Randy Orton could have been the one for the first 2 months, right? Randy Orton could have been the guy that and they could have told that story. They could have told that story about Kofi Kingston, and they could have and that could have been really, really good. I think they could have put on some maybe quality matches, entertaining matches over the next 2 months. And then you could have had Kevin Owens turn heel. So I can see where they were talking about, right? And also, we haven't had a good. I know Kevin Owens is a better heel, but he was a pretty darn good face, pretty darn good face. So, but and maybe, just maybe, that's what would have happened if Daniel Bryan wasn't hurt. If maybe if maybe something else like that, if they didn't have Rusev and Nakamura in a tag team, and they could have done those two or something like that, maybe they could have actually, done that. It would have worked, but it didn't. So, or maybe this was just the plan all along. I'm not sure, but still, I thought the turn was awesome, and a lot of us thought it was happening last week. It didn't happen, and I think some of us thought it might have been happening this week. Although I was not going to predict last week. I predicted it. Was not going to predict it this week. So, but when it happened, I was like, "Yep, there you go." So. But I thought that was excellently done. I liked how it happened. I liked how it was kind of like almost a scene where Kevin Owens went into a trance, kind of. So yeah, we got another heel, Kevin Owens, and we've got and now we probably get the first couple months of Kofi Kingston's battle. So. Very good, WWE, very good. And now to Barry stuff. And first off, we're going to bury Shane McMahon, and just because not the fact that the promo was bad or anything like that, but I just. When they said that they were going to do the new era, I took I took them saying there were going to be no more authority figures as them basically saying that there was going to be no more heel authority figures. Now you can't just come out obviously and say that we're not, that we, there's gonna be no heel authority figures or anything like that, because obviously they need to try to put on the, I don't want to say facade, but try to keep it kayfabe, right? But that's what I took it as. That's basically what I took it as. And even in fact, later that evening, Stephanie McMahon said, believe it was later that evening, she said, I'm not gonna play favorites anymore. So, kind of basically saying that, that. So, but and in the Shane heel turn, I thought for the Miz again, I thought it was okay, but I kind of thought maybe he was just gonna be just like the down the wrestler stuff. But he's now starting to do the, it became where you work for me stuff, and now he's doing it with Roman Reigns, and I'm just not a big fan of it. I'm really not. There's no need for heel authority figures. Not Vince, not Shane, not Triple H, and definitely not Stephanie McMahon. So, it. I'm so over the heel authority figure. I'm so over it, and now we got Shane McMahon, and really it should be, and it should just be like Shane McMahon should just be like a wrestler. No, just make him be a wrestler, something like that. If he's going to do all of this, so another thing I wanted to bury was another Becky promo. Now, I fully admit I am not on the Becky Lynch train. I'm not a fan of the character, and actually, I'm kind of not a fan of the person at this point, because I don't know if she is like when she does like other interviews. I don't know if she is if she's doing like the kayfabe, if she's bringing her kayfabe into her interviews, or if that's just really how she feels. But she gives off this thing of arrogance and just ugh. And it really isn't. It really isn't something that is really attractive to me at all. Not something that I want a baby face to go. And I'm probably in the minority of not liking Becky. I'm also probably in the minority of not wanting Becky to be this like anti-authority figure. That's some people when they they kind of had her be when they pivoted and said that she's gonna go from heel to like being like this, we're just gonna let her be like in the middle or something like that. Some people wanted her to be like Steve Austin. No, there's only one Stone Cold Steve Austin. You shouldn't try to make anybody be Stone Cold Steve Austin. Nobody. I don't care how popular Becky Lynch is. She shouldn't try to be Stone Cold Steve Austin. That's why I'm okay with her, apologizing to the McMahons, and I'm okay with her, hugging Charlotte, anything like that. It comes to be a part of, it can be a part of the character, her character growth, but yeah, and her, but what I also don't need, I don't need her doing promos every week. I really don't. And she had two this week. She had one, she had one before her match with Alicia Fox, and then she had the one with Charlotte. And it really is. And the more and more she talks, the more and more I lose interest in her. I really do. So, I don't really need to hear her speak. Just, let her wrestle, really. Or keep her promos short and sweet, where she doesn't have to keep talking about what she's done. Whatever. And the fact that she whatever. It's sick. But speaking of her match with Becky with Alicia Fox. That's the final thing I'm going to bury. That match was not. Whew. Now listen, this is Alicia Fox's first match back from her, I guess, official suspension. You know, being off television. You know, and everything like that, and having, you know, so whatever. So, you know, maybe a lot of ring rust. Maybe she's just not in the right spot. Maybe it's just something that she doesn't care anymore. But you know, this was just not really good. And you know, Becky may be more John Cena than anything because Becky doesn't really bring a lot of people up to her level. You know, it's like one of those things where she doesn't make people better in the ring, which doesn't bode well for this Lacey Evans match. That's at Money to Bank. But she doesn't bring people up to her level where they can have a pretty interesting match. But she keeps up with Charlotte and Ronda and those people. So and Becky and not Becky, she's Becky, but other people. So yeah, it was. So it could be very well it just really wasn't good. It really wasn't. And, you know, I'm actually I'm going to put blame on both women because that's where it should be, especially if, you know, because of Alicia Fox's past and things that may be going on with her health. So I'm going to put it on both women for that match. Now for my main topic, things I've missed in wrestling. And there are like so many things I miss in wrestling that, you know, it just isn't done like now. It's, you know, it isn't. And I guess for a myriad of reasons, it's not done right now. Like one of the things I miss is the heel cheating to, you know, do like the heel would lock in a chin lock, and you see the heel lock in a chin lock, but it's you know, but back in the day, a heel would lock in a chin lock, you know, and then he'd get on his stomach with the chin lock, and he'd put his foot on the rope, you know, for leverage, you know, or you know, and then the baby face would be falling all over the place, and then the referee would look up, the heel's foot would be off the rope, and then and then he'd go back, and it was great. It was great. I loved that, and it's the same thing like with an abdominal stretch. They put in an abdominal stretch, and it's you know, and then he, you know, they put it close to the rope, and then the heel would grab the rope for leverage, and then what you would always see too is you'd see that happen, and usually be like the three strikes thing where the third time the referee would see it and then kick the person's hand, and then the baby face would hip toss him, and it was fantastic. I missed that. I missed that. You know, another thing I miss in wrestling are the surprises. I do miss the surprises, and I guess you can't, you know, you can't really blame, you can't blame WWE for wanting to let people know when things are going to happen, because of, you know, them wanting to maybe try to pop a rating or things like that. You know, so you're gonna see, you know, such and such next week on Raw, or you know, this or that, you know. But I think the last big surprise in wrestling for me might have been Brock Lesnar returning, because I didn't know I didn't know it was going to happen. I didn't know. So when Brock Lesnar returned that night on Raw, that was a surprise to me. So I think that might have been the last big surprise, you know. But yeah, but back in the day, there was always like surprises. You know, there was always things, and you know, there was the DDP was the the guy who was stalking Undertaker's wife. Oh, there was a lot of them. You know, remember there was a rumor that it was going to be Vince. He was going to get back at Undertaker for what he did to Stephanie. But yeah, that was a totally better. And so I miss the surprises in wrestling. I think, and again, and I think, and another thing is because of the internet now. There's so much stuff out there, and it's and you can say, well, I don't have to look at everything. If I see something on Twitter, I don't have to look at it to see, you know, so that I can be surprised, you know. But I do, because I kind of want to know what is going to go down, and you know, and what's happening, what's the backstage, you know, scuttlebutt with certain things, and who have they signed or not. So, and they do like to make a lot of announcements. They do like to make a lot of announcements. No, actually, you know what? No. The AJ Styles was actually not a surprise. But that's the AJ Styles of the Royal Rumble was not a surprise because we knew he had signed. So, and there was rumors that he might have been there. So it was what it was. Um, so yeah, I think the surprises in wrestling are some things that I do miss. I do wish there was you could be surprised more often than shocked. You know. And one more thing to add to this, I also think that for a person like myself, who's 37 years old, I watch so much wrestling that I almost know what's going to happen. Like I talked about earlier with the Kevin Owens, you knew the Kevin Owens turn was going to happen. You just didn't know. You just didn't know when, right? So you knew it was going to happen. So sometimes you like to know. You'd like to know when it may not happen, and so like even when it's a shocking turn, you almost still see like the Dean Ambrose turn was very shocking. Actually, you know, now that you think about it, it was very shocking. The night Roman thing to do that, you know, but then again, you still kind of felt like he was going to turn. Dean Ambrose was going to turn. You just didn't think it was going to happen that night. So I'm going all over the place. But really, the surprises, the shocks in wrestling. And the last thing I miss in wrestling that I'll talk about in this episode is the continuity. You know, and there was something I saw on Twitter saying that they were looking for someone, WWE was looking for someone to be their continuity person, so that keep things in continuity, so that you know, something just would not be like, I'm hoping that it just would not be dropped, or it just not would be, you know, forgotten, you know, because sometimes things are just like forgotten. Like Edge and Christian were brothers. Christian goes to TNA, comes back. There's no mention of it. They just dropped it. Why? Yeah, just be brothers. You know, you were brothers. You know, keep continuity, right? You're brothers. And there are so many other issues with continuity that in WWE, and that just fly by the wayside. So I would really like to see the continuity stuff of it, and that's how it was back in the day. That's how it was. You know, even if there was something where now you were as heels you were rivals, but now at baby faces you are now friends. They still would bring that back, like, you know, with Roman and with Roman, with Razor Ramon and Shawn Michaels being rivals for the longest as they were. And then when Shawn becomes a babyface and they're best friends, they still went back and talked about their rivalry over the Intercontinental Championship, and then their second match with, you know, at the '95 SummerSlam, you know, for ladder match, and they did that, and there were other thing. So there were just so many. There's so many issues with continuity that they just forget and they just drop for some reason, and I don't understand. I would like for them to keep that continuity, and it's not like they pick and choose certain things. It's and I'm not sure why they do it. You know, Another thing, like the Brock Lesnar Undertaker Hell in a Cell match, right? I don't know if they ever brought up the fact that they had already had one. They had already had a Hell in a Cell match. They didn't. I don't think they brought that up all through their fight for that. So, and I guess because that one was so brutal and bloody, that in this PG era that they couldn't do it, But so, like I was saying, I guess because it was so brutal and bloody in its PG era, they didn't want to, talk about it. But that should be brought up. This one doesn't have to be as brutal as bloody because it's not going to be. But bring it up. It would be good. I don't. Again, maybe it was brought up and I'm just forgetting, but I don't think it was. So I would really like for them to bring back the continuity, and hopefully that's what's going to happen. Because, like I said, I read something on Twitter that they were looking for somebody to help with that. So I would really love it if that happens. Well, that's it for this week's episode of That to Shoot. Post your comments down below and let me know what you guys think about any of my putovers or my berries or even my main topic of the day. What are some of the things that you miss in wrestling? Some of the things that you would like to see be brought back? I gave you 3 of mine. Let me hear yours. I'd like to hear what you guys have to say. Like the video, share the video, subscribe to the channel. And as always, thank you guys so much for watching. This is your boy, AJ Tripp, signing off. Oh, by the way, I should remind you to click that notification bell because later on tonight, you are going to be getting my Avengers Endgame review. So you're going to make sure that you go ahead and keep that. I'm going to, again, just like I did last year with Infinity War, I'm going to try and give you my review about it without giving you any type of big spoilers or anything like that, or talking about it very much. Also, this is like a 3-hour movie, so it would be almost like a 3-hour review. So I'm just gonna try to keep it to the basics, but make sure that you are here for that tonight. All right, as always, y'all, be good to each other, y'all. Be careful out there, and I am out.